All right, so it's been a little bit of a hiatus here at the Media Genius podcast. I addressed that in a short video that's kind of funny previous to this. But let's go back to a well-worn well for me, and that's going to be, of course, Zach Snyder. This is more about the idea of montage, but it really does get all up in the Snyderness of montage, because let's be real, and we'll get to it, the best montage of all time is the opening to Watchmen. Fight with me in the comments. I would love to watch other montages to find out if any of them are better. Because if there are, me a couple, and we will go on from there. But you know what? The more things stay, the more they stay the same. Car. Uh, if imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and at this point I'm just imitating myself because way more Zack Snyder content incoming, then it stands that writing about a scene from a film adaptation that redefines and recontextualizes the art form of montage should begin with a quote, eventually, after my preamble, that gets right to the heart of adaptation itself, that the more things change, the more they stay the same. Translating works between mediums in adaptation is always a risk. It's always more work than it appears from the outside, rather than the creative process being easier, rather than thinking of the original work as an outline, as one would in transitioning between mediums if you were just going to be inspired by. Adaptations need to carry the spirit of the original work as well as the mannerisms, the look, and the feel of the work. 10 Things I Hate About You from 1999 is a fantastic retelling of Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, but it in no way is attempting to be an adaptation. Noria's Mean Girls from 2004, an adaptation of the book Mean Bees and Wannabes 2002. Even though it excels in telling its story super well, love Mean Girls. Coming from the written word to the screen is one avenue for cinematic adaptations to take. Another, and now among the most common and profitable ways, is the transformation of comic books and graphic novels into movies. You know where I'm going here. Um, of the people and scenes that could be mentioned in this particular and often blockbuster subgenre of adaptation, when looking at montage, one name, one scene, one movie comes to mind. Zack Snyder, the opening montage of Watchmen from 2009. A lot's been written and said about that scene and how it managed to distill dozens of pages of storytelling and character development into the length of Bob Dylan's Times They Are a Changin'. It creates a masterclass in montage, blending the themes of change presented in the song with the jarring vision of a history so much like our own, shows and illustrates and points out the differences, chief among them being the costumed heroes and their effect on history, all creating a harmony that seems impossible. The presentation of an alternate parallel history in the graphic novel over scores of panels, like, again, harmonizing into what could be the greatest shortcut in film history is astounding. Montages are, of course, shortcuts in cinematic storytelling. They almost always allow the audience, no, they force the audience to get from point A to point B without really having the time to savor the journey. Sometimes this is for nothing more than convenience and eliminating tedium. Training montages cheat do that. Montages that cheat time into something being more malleable, like in an action movie, or the planning sequences of an action movie, to the extreme of the planning sequences and flashbacks of heist movies. Oceans, I am looking at you. But in the case of Watchmen, the montage is the ultimate cheat in world building and character development, a way to catch the audience up on the journalistic nouns of that fiction, filling in the who, what, where, when, and why until we get to the now, the present. All of this Snyder accomplished while allowing the audience to savor the journey without it feeling or being fast and loose. A montage that feels like a slow burn is a magic trick from a master magician in an industry devoted to illusion and sleight of hand. And that last sentence is hard to say out loud, because sometimes you write something and you're like, oh man, the way that reads in my mind, awesome. And then it's a tongue twister. Um, all of that said, welcome back. We've got at least one more big piece of Zack Snyder content incoming. Um, But you know what they say.
Don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube, and also check out our Facebook, our Twitter, and our Patreon to keep up with our content.